And we are live. Yeah.
Green light.
Nope. Oh,
All right.
it's red. Hold
Yeah.
on. It's dropping. Is it supposed to do that?
The video chat?
I did.
Oh. Okay. It's weird.
All right. So we are finally live. It's green. So I think we're good.
All right. Let's do this for the first time this year.
Oh, yeah. It's New Year.
Welcome to episode 141. This episode of TLC, we talk about holiday adventures. 2021 tries to overshadow 2020, and Anton plays with time. I'm on Flores.
And I'm Anton Duong.
I almost stuck the landing there. I messed up the second headline.
I was like, how are you going to get pretty creative with that last topic that we're going to be talking about this episode? But that works.
Yeah, I try to connect them, but we'll see. A little bit weak.
Yeah.
All right, Anton, how was your Christmas and New Year break?
Okay, so Christmas wasn't too bad. I mean, I try not to go to a lot of places. And this year has been kind of interesting, especially like family gatherings and stuff. You're very cautious. I was pretty close to not even going because, big numbers are showing up in California. So, I mean, here in Florida, they don't really tell you the exact numbers, so we don't really know exactly what's going on here.
Yeah.
I don't think it's very accurate at all, even though they do have some type of numbers out there. But
they're just not being as transparent as California is.
yeah, California is being very cautious. Every little thing can trigger the whole state putting like what is it, shutdowns and stuff in place.
Yeah. Which a lot of businesses are starting to ignore now, which I honestly I don't blame at this point. Like I agree that it should be shut down if they're not being safe, but by this point there's so many like things in place right now. There's plenty of supplies to operate safely. So I think shutting down certain restaurants, for example, like that's not really necessary.
Yeah,
if they can,
like
especially if they can accommodate outdoor dining.
yeah, one of my relatives here, his two good friends in California passed away because of COVID, and it's crazy. And it's kind of not surprising because they didn't wear any masks. But I mean, it's kind of hard to see someone that for so long. But yeah, it's crazy in California right now with the numbers, and I don't know if it's actually helping at all with the shutdown.
Yeah. I mean, again, we talked about it last episode about the flu numbers being extraordinarily down. I think I said like 90-something percent, 80-something percent down compared to what was last year or what the projections would have said. But that shows you that what the COVID protections are doing, or what you call it, steps that protections were put in place for COVID is working for the flu. And if the flu is down by that much, that shows you how bad COVID could have been, as bad as it is right now. Yeah, it's funny because like I was telling Martha, like last year in the spring, it was really a question of, oh, do you know anybody that's had COVID, or knows somebody that's had COVID? And starting this year, I told her I felt a shift because now it's a question of, do you know somebody that has the vaccine or has gotten the vaccine? It's the other way around. And like now it's, we were going last spring, we were starting down that dark path, and now we're slowly working our way out of it into a lighter place. Yeah.
Yeah. So other than that, Christmas, got lots of presents for Elias.
No shock there.
Yeah, no shock. A lot less, mom and pop getting presents, but that's totally fine. It's all for him anyways. I mean, when you get to a certain age, it's like,
Yeah, sure.
And the thing is that if you do like something, you just go out and buy it, which is what I usually do anyways. Uh,
Yeah. And that
um,
and that's what I was telling Martha. I'm like, the frustration you feel with me with trying to buy me something because I just end up buying it for myself is the frustration I feel trying to buy Anton something because he will just buy things on a whim if he
yeah,
really wants it bad enough.
yeah. I mean, I'm cutting a lot more than I used to, spend on
Elias
myself.
has made it easier to shop for you. I'll tell you that right
Hmm.
now.
Yeah, yeah. That time is hard.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, anyways, the cool things I did get for Christmas would have to be like accessories for the Model Y. My cousin was able to get me like a whole kit of little things here and there to turn into carbon fiber. It's just stickers, basically. You're
Oh,
just putting it
oh.
everywhere.
Speaking of Tesla,
Hmm.
shout out to Elon Musk that has become the richest man in the world,
Oh
or
yeah,
richest man in America,
yeah,
or it was.
yeah. That's true.
He surpassed Bezos.
Yeah.
It, it's funny. There was a meme that shows like I forget what character it was, like sitting on a lazy boy of cash,
Hmm.
and it says what Bezos was doing before he found out Elon passed him as the richest man, and in the bottom picture the exact same thing. It says what Bezos was doing after he found out Elon had surpassed them. He's like, doesn't matter. He's still filthy rich.
Yeah. It's funny. Actually, it's funny that Elon, when he found out that he is the richest man
Oh, I
on the
saw
planet,
that.
yeah, it's so funny. He's like, "Oh, okay, interesting. Huh. Back to work."
Back to work. Yeah, back to work.
Yeah.
I
So,
mean that,
yeah,
and so many freaking haters online that's about it. Nobody should be that rich. Blah blah. He didn't earn. I'm like,
yeah.
it's kind
Technically,
of
he did.
revitalizing a lot of industries. Yeah, like I
Yeah.
mean, if there's somebody that did earn it, I would say it was him.
Hey, for him, it's not really about the money. Uh, he spent
I think
all his money in his bank trying to save the company. So for him
yeah,
to, build something from basically nothing is kind of like a
and
lot to say. I mean, yeah, he's rich.
and and look, he's not just sitting on that money. He
Hmm.
is, and also first of all, it's not all liquid money. It's assets. It
Hmm.
includes his stakes in the company. So
Hmm.
it's not like he has that money in his account.
Hmm.
But also, he doesn't just sit on that money though. He reinvests it into other projects, into other things he wants to work on.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
Hmm.
in the long term, it's good for the rest of the world, even if he's not handing that cash out to everybody by
Hmm.
individually. All right.
Hmm.
Anyways, sorry. But back to your Christmas.
Yeah, so I got a couple things for the Tesla, which is kind of cool. Um, and then,
By the way, first episode of the new year, and 10 minutes in, we're already talking about Elon.
yeah, I know. I think it's gonna happen next year too. First episode of next year
Probably
is probably gonna be the same thing.
Elon
Hmm.
first 10 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. First 10 minutes. Let's see. Uh, did you get anything cool?
I got this awesome book you sent me
Oh
that we
yeah,
talked about last episode.
yeah. Did you start on that? Yeah, I have that here too, but I haven't started.
No, I haven't started either. I wanted to finish The Witcher. My goal
Mm-hmm.
was to finish it at the end of last year, and I just I just didn't have time.
Mm-hmm.
My days just ran together. I'm on the last 30 pages, so I'll probably start it either tomorrow night or the night afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Probably not going to finish it by our next episode, but I think I can at least give a cursory review about it from what
Mm-hmm.
I've read so far, even if I haven't finished it.
Okay. So, I did go to a party. Try to stay away from as many people as I can.
Oh, for
Distance
me, right?
myself. Yeah. No. For Christmas, and
Okay.
at the party it was mostly family. We didn't really try to get any strangers or anything there, of course.
Yeah.
But for this year, instead of buying everybody presents, I went ahead and bought a whole case of picture frames, and
Okay.
I bought a instant printer. It's not
Hmm.
real instant. It's more of like a full scale printer, and
Yeah.
it prints a 4x6 picture. So basically, I
Okay.
would
So
take a
standard size.
picture of them, standing next to the tree, and then I would print it out there and then and put it into a frame and hand it to them. So
So you were a human photo booth.
yeah, basically. Yeah.
I'm like, this is your wedding. You know that, right? Like that's.
It felt like that because my cousin Johnny was standing next to me, and all he's doing is just opening the frames and putting the pictures in there, and then calling it out. Yeah, it's funny.
Number 131. It's me, your cousin Julie. 131. 131.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's fun though.
Hmm.
Christmas for me, it was less chaotic than I was expecting.
Hmm.
Mainly because there's no gatherings, there's nothing really we're doing, but we did buy presents for people, so we were gonna drop them off
Hmm.
to each person, socially distance, but still wanted to be there when they open it and stuff like that. It kind of worked out for us because one of our friends was happened to be near my where my girlfriend lives, so we just said like, oh, here are your presents for you and your boyfriend, and then she's like, oh, did you want me to drop off so and so's presents too? We're like, that'd be awesome because our other friend works with her,
Hmm.
so we're like, oh, perfect, here you go, perfect, that takes care of our half of our list right there. And then the other half was either lives with me or lives with my girlfriend. And then the remaining is my brother, which that's like the only person we had to drive to was my brother, to drop off presents for him, his wife, and my niece.
Hmm.
But yeah, then that's pretty easy. Everybody got igloo.
Igloo.
Yeah, it's it just kind of turned out that way because we were going through like, what can we get so and so? Oh well, they need this. They need like they play sports. So like, oh, they need like you know like we don't really know what else to get him because this is my friend Juliet's boyfriend because he kind of joined our circle a couple months before COVID, and
Hmm.
even before that we didn't really get to know him because they were still starting their relationship.
Hmm.
So it was a whole thing where she wanted to make sure that he was friend worthy first and then introduced him to the friends and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But uh, so we didn't really know him that well. We just know a few things about him. So we're like, okay, what can we get him? So we got him kind of like a not even a gallon, half a gallon thermos for water
Hmm.
that hooks onto like batting the metal gates or metal chain gates, whatever.
Hmm.
Um, and then my brother got a giant Star Wars cooler.
Okay, is that the igloo one?
That's well, both of them. The water jug, the
Oh.
cooler. Uh, my girlfriend Martha's sister-in-law and brother got lunch bags from Igloo,
Hmm.
and then I bought myself a baby Yoda igloo too.
Wow. Is this all online, or did you buy this from a specific store?
It was all online.
Hmm.
And I
Makes it a
think
little
part of it
easier.
too was, yeah. Also, the thing too was shipping was like free, but only if you ordered over $70 worth.
Hmm.
So we're like, all right, well, we're buying so and so this gift anyway, so let's see if we can find an igloo version of it or something.
Hmm. Hmm. All right, so let's fast forward to New Year's. Did you do anything special for New Year's?
Oh yes, went to Solvang.
Hmm.
For people that don't know what that is, it's a little town here in California, that is, well, founded by a group of Danish settlers, and it's like a very Danish town.
Hmm.
Their architecture is Danish, their food is Danish. Like the town is just so, and I think I love that we went during Christmas time. It is the perfect Christmas town.
Hmm.
It looks like everything is should be either an elf workshop or gnomes should live there in some way or form, in some shape or form.
So, since it was a Danish town, did you have a cheese Danish?
I had an apple Danish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's the thing. So, um, every other, or I say one out of every three shops that you walk by is either going to be a bakery or a chocolate place. So I was like, okay, I'm like,
Are
oh,
these people on diabetes?
or a coffee place, or a coffee place.
Wow.
It's really the question for breakfast was always which bakery, which coffee shop do we want to go
So,
to?
how big is this town?
The town is pretty big, but the main center of it, that's like the real touristy section.
Kind of like Main Street or something like that?
Yeah, I would say it's I don't know. I would say a good like the I don't even know how to compare it to. It's a good center of town. Like that's the
Hmm.
thing. It's walkable. It's mainly two or three streets that are kind of parallel to each other. You can kind of walk up and down on. Um, if I were to like we were to walk a lap, we could probably walk around the big main part of it within like 40 minutes, 45 minutes.
Hmm.
So it's like it's small, but it's still big enough for you to enjoy. But it was good though. The main thing that sucked was that all the wine tasting places, which apparently there was a lot of there. I would say there's a couple of shops that we saw that says wine tasting closed due to COVID or something, stuff like that. That was the only thing that was unavailable to us, but everything else, the food was available, for takeout. Um, the it was nice that there was like everybody was kind of respectful of the COVID restrictions. Like people were lining outside of restaurants or uh, of bakeries or shops, spacing each other out. Nobody was crowding.
Hmm.
Nobody was there guarding people to tell them to do that.
Hmm.
And everybody was wearing masks. So I'm like, I was telling Martha, I'm like, if we had to be in a place where, during COVID, this is a nice town to be in.
Hmm. So
Like no drama, nothing.
how okay? So how often do you see someone without mask in California?
In public, like outside of a shop or like
Hmm.
in a store.
Just in general, like how often do you see someone like, oh wait, they're not wearing a mask?
More commonly the closer to Huntington Beach I am, more common it is not to see somebody with a mask. And even in the store, more more likely it is to see them in a store with their mask on, like an asshole,
Hmm.
a
Okay.
chin diaper, as South Park put it.
That chin diaper. Totally makes sense. It's like you don't wear your underwear like, low enough where your penis is showing, that doesn't make any sense.
Just for the sack.
Yeah. Exactly. All right, so my New Year's wasn't too bad. We didn't really plan to go anywhere, but then my one of my cousins was like, "Oh, hey, if you want to come over, we're gonna have some food and just fireworks." And we're like, "Okay."
Yeah.
So we just went over for that. Surprisingly, Elias takes fireworks pretty well. The only thing is that sometimes
Yeah.
it does surprise him, so it kind of puts him on edge where he's like, should I cry or should I not?" And then he just like acts normal. So.
That's surprising because yeah, my niece was very sensitive to not even just not like fireworks, but just loud noises in
Hmm.
general.
Yeah.
Um, she was very like auditorily sensitive,
Hmm.
auditory sensitive. I don't know what to call.
So,
Even now, she still has those moments where just loud noises will kind of freak her out.
hmm.
Yeah.
So now Elias is able to crawl. He's pretty good at it now. Uh,
Troublemaker.
yeah, he's pretty good at walking around in his little walker. Um,
Mm-hmm.
he's starting to explore on his own. He's doing a lot of really fun stuff on his own, and that's kind of cool. It makes him independent. Um, he has trouble sleeping by himself. He's starting to feel more attached to his mom and dad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's it's
Well, his
eventually.
his yeah, but like his vision has slowly improved over like probably it's fully developed
Hmm.
probably what during the fall, because
Yeah,
I think I've
yeah,
heard it takes like 6 months for their vision to fully develop after they're
yeah. Hmm.
born.
Hmm.
Um, so I get it. I think he's probably imprinted more, So are you guys doing the whole co-sleeping, or for what it was called, or is he
For
does he
a
sleep in his
while,
room?
we tried to sleep train him to sleep in his own crib, and it worked out for a
Hmm.
while. But then I guess this month in particular is the month where they get attached to the parents a lot more, and it says it in the book too. It's crazy. Like when I read it, I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna happen. It's like reading predictions of what's gonna happen
So
next.
who wrote these great prophecies?
Yeah, exactly. It's
Who
like
was this wise prophet?
it's friggin' insane, dude. Like I read it and then next thing I know, like I see it happen. Um Yeah,
The
because
no, the author's Nostra, last name Damas.
yeah, dude. When you have a kid in the future, there's a specific book that I recommend you to read. Man, it's cool because the guy's version of like a pregnancy book or first year child book is it's like a spark notes of the thick ass book that the mother has to read. Um, but dude, like yeah, it just like bullet points every single thing that's gonna happen, and oh my gosh, it's crazy. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, New Year's he took it pretty well. And yeah, he's doing really, really, really well. He's developing. He's eating quite a bit more solids now, so we're getting there.
Dang, he's
Mm-hmm.
working those chompers.
Mm-hmm. No
That's cool,
teeth
dude.
yet. I mean, there's one, but it's kind of popping out
Oh,
a
okay.
little bit. Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's buck tooth. All right, got
Yeah.
it. All right, dude. I'm trying to think if there's any other thing. No, I think that covers us, right, for the week updates.
Mm-hmm.
All right, not week updates, but the break updates. I guess I should call it that. All right, Tom, ready to get into our headline news?
Yeah, let's get into our headline news.
All right, so 2021 really trying to make itself known after 2020. It's like, hold up, let me step it up here. Uh, there was, I mean, lack of better words, there was a attack on our Capitol on last Wednesday, where a bunch of pro-Trump supporters were protesting outside the Capitol, and things escalated very, very quickly and very seriously to the point where the representatives and senators had to be taken away to safety and hidden away while the I don't even call them. I like a better word, terrorist.
Yeah.
Like
I think
these.
that's the best way to describe it. I mean, they would say like patriots, but that's not active patriot.
I'm no, I mean like I'm sorry, but this is act of terror. Like they did this purely for the shock and awe to drive their point. So this is I think terrorist attack.
Mm-hmm.
While these terrorists were roaming the Capitol building, searching, destroying things, invading offices, looting to some extent. And some people did die, and even during the attack, and even after the attack.
Yeah, it's crazy because like the Capitol is it's sacred.
Yeah.
It's
The,
the image of our country. This is basically the place that our founding fathers was able to put together. So then we would have the freedom that we have. And
yeah.
for people to attack it and not give it the respect that it deserves, it's kind of heartbreaking. It's very
Yeah. I mean,
shocking.
this is like alongside, if not maybe like half a step away from attacking the White House.
Mm-hmm.
It is a very iconic and core part of our democracy. But you know what? Let's focus more on the geeky side of this, the tech side of it.
Okay.
Trump was banned from at least so far 15 different platforms in
Mm-hmm.
one way or another. At first, I was kind of shocked by the amount of platforms, but as I read through the list, I'm like, okay, they kind of make sense. So of course, Twitter has permanently banned him.
Mm-hmm.
And other accounts that related to the president have been suspended, or had tweets deleted for ban evasion. So I guess he was trying to get on Twitter through other people or himself.
Yeah, he probably went to his son, Junior. Can I borrow your phone?
There's quite a few memes of Trump on the White House lawn yelling at different like photoshopped in people saying, "Hey, I need to borrow your Twitter really quick." So this kind of forced people, well, not force people, even before that, but that one platform, Parler, started taking on more Trump support. They say it's a site for Trump supporters, but really it's just another Wild West when it comes to platforms. Yes, it might be mostly hardcore conservatives or Trump
Yeah,
supporters, but
it's an app
it's
for freedom of speech, which I
yes.
totally understand. But like it's not being moderated, so a lot of the
Mhm.
stuff on there can be very very offensive
It's
to a lot of people.
it's Reddit meets Twitter.
Yeah, that's
the
true.
amount of stuff they have.
Hmm.
Um,
Hey, at
which
least Reddit and Twitter moderates their stuff.
Twitter moderates now, but Reddit kind of lets it for their own communities to moderate themselves.
Yeah, at least they have some type of moderation.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so this is kind of, I agree with banning Trump for the stuff that he said and what the effects it has, but that's also kind of questioning the power that these platforms have to censor people in a way. Like
See,
it goes on a whim of the company
yeah,
to who they want to ban.
I understand the whole thing about people wanting to keep it free speech, but the thing is that there you can't really draw a line.
Hmm.
It's not right.
Yeah.
But there is a common sense type of thing, where people need to understand that they need to do research
Yeah.
before they believe what other people say. I mean, now in this time and age, we know Wikipedia is not always accurate. I mean, it's pretty close,
Hmm.
but it's not 100%. And for
Yeah.
a lot of these platforms that is giving all of these facts, as they say, it's hard to fact check it. There's going to be a
Hmm.
lot of people that are going to believe it and they're going to comment on it. Um, like I have an aunt here,
Right. Hmm.
and I don't know where she gets these news from. I'm guessing it's because a lot of the Trump supporters that that are Vietnamese and they don't know any better. They're probably on these platforms like
Oh,
Parlor and
li-
stuff.
little Saigon here is hardcore Trump.
Yeah, it's crazy. The news
Yeah.
and the stuff that they're feeding to the people doesn't make any sense to me at all. And it's not even true. There's a
Yeah.
bunch of lies that are spreading like crazy. And I don't understand how people like my aunt here is getting these type of news.
Yeah.
And she's,
So,
for example, a good example, she'd be like, "Oh, hey, did you get the $600 for one of my cousins?"
yeah.
And he's like, "I don't qualify because he owns a company. There's no way that he can qualify when he owns a company. I mean,
Hmm.
that's a no-brainer. You don't qualify." So, oh yeah,
Yeah.
everybody qualifies. That's what Trump said. Everybody qualifies.
Wow.
Yeah, there
So
you
like they're not even like confirming what the thing.
go. Mm-mm.
So the reason I bring up the whole Twitter thing though is because uh, Twitter has previously showed kind of not favoritism, but they're clearly picking and choosing what they want to delete or not delete or ban or not to ban. Um, Most importantly, that there uh, was I forgot his name, but Biden's son, when his
Hunter.
laptop was Hunter, when his laptop was acquired because it was not confirmed it was stolen or not or how it was acquired, but it was acquired and there were some photos that were leaked, posted by the New York Post.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter quickly took down that link, and it was like a big thing in November, I want to say, where they took down the leak. I mean, they took down the link and deleted any post related to it, so people couldn't get to it. Uh, Twitter's response was that that was because it violated Twitter's policy, because it was the way the material was gotten. And then they kind of went back and forth about why they banned it, and then finally they just ended up saying, okay, well the New York Post's account has been reactivated, and the link is now active again. The reason we banned it was a mistake, systemically mistake, and we fixed it.
At least they own up to, you know, what they.
But the thing is, their reasoning was, because it was acquired illegally, and Twitter's not going to post things that were acquired illegally, blah, blah, blah. But they posted Trump's tax forms or tax returns, which those were not released by Trump. Those were acquired and posted publicly, and those were not censored. So that's why I kind of hesitate with Twitter. I get the attention for Parler. I am not going to go on Parler. But, you know, I think this is kind of a question that, I mean, Facebook has been dealing with for a long time about censorship, what their responsibility is.
It's hard, dude. Like, it's hard to do everything you can.
Exactly. There is no one easy solution. As people try to make it seem, why can't they just blank? That whole thing. Why can't they just, you know, block out fake news? Why can't they? Because there's no way to identify it, like, clearly. It requires somebody to read what the hell it is, review it, confirm that it is fake news or fake whatever, and delete it. And that's a lot of manpower. There's way more users than there is employees at Facebook.
You can't moderate that. That's too many people, too many users.
And even Zuckerberg says that social media can't be the arbiter of truth. Like it's too much.
That's why that's why we rely on specific news sources. You know, instead of hearing from the people, we have real news sources that have fact checkers.
Well, here's the thing. Like it's that whole thing where, like, okay, a person is not a news source, or, you know, it's not viewed generally as a news source. But what is stop somebody to say, well, there's no evidence that this happened, but I think this. It's not confirmed. It's not true. It's not a fact, but it is somebody's opinion. So, I mean, at one point, you know, it gets murky, and I think that's when the platforms don't want to make that decision, don't want to be put in that position. So, other platforms that he was banned from, Snapchat, which I forgot Trump had a Snapchat.
He had a Twitch account
TikTok,
too.
TikTok, which ironically, ironically, considering that the U.S. was trying to ban Twitch for a long time, or not Twitch, TikTok for a long time. Apple banned Parler as a social media app. Google also removed Parler from their Android store. Amazon has recently suspended the cloud hosting for Parler. Pinterest has been restricting pro-Trump hashtags. Reddit has banned r/Donald Trump. Twitch, like you said, has disabled his account indefinitely. PayPal has blocked a group that paid for Trump supporters to travel to Washington. This also applies to Venmo. Shopify, which is how Trump was, you know, selling the whole MAGA stuff and, you know, other campaign material. Discord, which I didn't think Discord moderated their servers, but I guess they do. They banned the Donald Trump server. YouTube, of course, because that, you know, goes with the whole Facebook and Twitter thing. Facebook has banned Trump for at least 2 weeks, and finally, Instagram, if it's not too obvious that since Facebook banned them, Instagram has also banned Trump. So, wow, does he have any purpose to go on the internet aside from just Googling stuff?
Yeah, see, the thing is that I realistically think that he doomed himself and his family. You know, I don't think they're going to be able to do much business in the future. It's very hard to be in the limelight now.
His name is cancerous right now. Nobody wants to be associated with him.
No.
You know, it's bad when even hardcore Republicans are like, not even like the hardcore ones are not exactly rejecting him, but they're like, don't say my name, bro. Don't.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say I'm against you, but I'm not gonna say I'm with you right now. So back away.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Uh, okay. So anything else regarding the Capitol attack or Trump and social media stuff?
No, I think, we're just gonna have to wait and see what's gonna happen. I don't think, uh, I personally don't think that they're gonna impeach him on time if they do it, because I know that they're gonna drag it out as much as they can
So
for that.
they can still possibly impeach him even after he's out of
Mm-hmm.
office.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
they've done it before to, I think it was a senator
Mm-hmm.
like years ago, decades ago. Um,
That
but they've never
basically
done it
takes
to a.
up all the perks that he has and
It
everything.
would bar him from ever
Mm,
running again.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it would be, and also I think the reason that they would want to do that after he's no longer president is because since he isn't charged yet with anything, he can't uh, issue oh my God, what's it called?
Pardon?
Pardon. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a pardon. He can't issue a pardon to himself, which even that is in question if he can pardon himself.
Can't do that.
Well,
Can
the
you?
that's the thing though. Everybody's kind of like, even the experts are kind of like, it's the way the
It's
law is
kind of
written is
like
ambiguous.
playing tag, and you're like, not it.
Yeah, but that's the same. Like if you're it and you say, and the rule is the person that's it can make anyone can decide who is it or not. That kind of implies they can decide that they are themselves are not it.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, you are it, but then you're like, not it. So who is it then?
Exactly. That was so confusing.
Yeah.
No, but that is gonna be such a headache, dude.
Mhm.
It's oh my God. I really hope we don't have to go through this crap every freaking 4 years, where the other side saying the other person stole the election and blah blah blah, and then we waste 2 years of an administration arguing about this. It's no more. This is everything all over again except from the other side.
Mhm. All right, let's
All
move
right.
on, dude. So Disneyland and vaccine, how's that go together?
So Disneyland has volunteered to become Orange County's first massive vaccine distribution effort. I believe they're going to be opening 3 or 5. I can't remember how many places in Orange County, but it's going to be the way we have giant testing facilities right now. We're going to open up giant vaccination facilities. So while Disneyland's downtown area is still open, they're going to be using other parts of the property to start administering vaccine. I don't know how they're going to manage this, considering some of these vaccines are very specific about when you have to uh, get the second booster shot. However, I think it should get easier if Johnson and Johnson's vaccine gets approved, because that one only requires one vaccine. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't need, you don't need to go back for a second dose.
Mm-hmm.
So once I really think once Johnson and Johnson's vaccine gets approved, things will go back so smoothly, because more than likely Johnson and Johnson's vaccine will be administered by more clinic type areas. So think like Walgreens, CVS clinics that, they have medical personnel, but they don't have patients per se. Like they don't have to follow up with anybody. They can just like, kind of like the flu shot now. You can just go to like Albertsons will freaking give you a vaccination. They
Mm-hmm.
have like a clinic there.
Mm-hmm. Hey, they give you
Uh,
$5 to shop afterwards.
yeah, Target was doing that too.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, so like that, but and then right, the vaccines that do require follow up will probably fall more on the hospitals or primary care physicians that can actually follow up and schedule those appointments to make sure that people are getting the dosage that they need.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so again, going back to what we said earlier, the light at the end of the tunnel here. Although, did you hear? Did you hear what happened with the testing facilities in LA County?
No.
The headline was, uh, I forgot what it was. I think dozens of testing sites in LA County were using testing kits that were giving false negatives.
Oh, okay.
But if you read the article, the reason for that though is because of the new variants that are popping up now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's
and
true.
it's like those tests were not made to detect those.
Mm-hmm. Okay, there's something for headline news that's not in our list, and that is Lucasfilm Games. They are rebranding their whole entire Star Wars and pretty much every other game.
Mhm.
Instead of just saying Star Wars or Lucasfilm, it's just Lucasfilm Games. So it's kind of like it's going to be a really big branding. So you know how you used to play a lot of the Lucasfilm games, but it's like Lucas Arts. You see a
Yeah,
little uh,
the
guy
logo. Yeah.
character, yeah. So I mean that's already gone a long time ago, but
Hmm.
yeah. So they're rebranding all of their games to put this as a branding. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just not. They're not making games. I mean, they are. They're just sourcing it. You know,
Well,
but
also the rebranding though kind of tells you that they were thinking about the near future. They wouldn't be doing this, so they're going to be sitting around doing nothing.
mm-hmm,
There probably is some plans in the immediate future to use that
mm-hmm,
branding.
mm-hmm,
Probably by the end of the year, or I would say summertime, we'll hear some announcement. Not necessarily releases, but announcements about what's coming down the line.
mm-hmm.
Making that call right now. All right, Anton. Ready into our next segment?
Yeah, let's get into streaming.
All right. So the second volume of the Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy was released while we were out, called Earthrise. And this one is um, the second season of the War for Cybertron series that we talked about previously on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, it picks up right where the other one left off, like the next chapter. And I want to say this is such a lull for the series. So when I first saw the title Earthrise, my thought was, oh shit, they finally made it to Earth. Now it's the Energon cube has, or not the spark.
The
What it
Allspark.
was the Allspark. Thank you. The Allspark has left Cybertron.
Mm-hmm.
It went through a portal that we ended. Well, spoiler alert. The first chapter ended with the Allspark leaving Cybertron, and and Optimus and some of the other Autobots chased after it. This series or this season takes place after, where you will learn that it turns out the Allspark ended up on one side of the galaxy and they ended up on the other. And the whole series is them making their way through the galaxy, little adventures abound as they
So
make their
they're
way
trying
to.
So they're trying to make their way to Earth.
Exactly. They don't say Earth. They don't say Earth,
Mm-hmm.
but they say this little rock planet, blah blah blah, like this, uninhabited planet or whatever it was.
Little do they
I'm
know.
like, I was like, it's Earth. Stop trying to. It's Earth. Like everybody knows it's Earth. Let me see here. I just want to confirm it. So this one has. Oh, well, there it goes. 6 episodes. They're about 30 minutes each, so it's kind of a quick season. Again, even though I feel this is a lull for the series, the overall arch for this trilogy that they're trying to do, I feel enriches the Transformers universe so much. That way, the way that the only the comic books have done up to this point. And it touches on so many little facets that we really haven't seen, even in the original Transformers show. They're kind of touching about it in video games or in the games, like the apps, whatever, but they don't really explain it. And I feel this way is a good way to see the history of the war between the Autobots and Decepticons, how each main character's journey has changed them over time, and what their motivation is,
Mm-hmm.
and who their history is. So this is, again, there was a lot of things here that I was like, okay, I get it, or this is not the most exciting episode, but there's like, I always had those moments going, oh shit, so that's how that happened, or oh, I know who that is, or oh, this,
Mm-hmm.
that type of moment.
Yeah, so
So
it's kind of like reading the lore, but instead of reading the lore, you're watching uh, the details unfold.
yeah, and it's funny because I'm on IMDb right now looking at the episode list, and all the ratings are like 4.3, 4.4, 4.6. I'm like, yeah, that's about right. It's like
Hmm.
C plus. That I'm not gonna lie, like if the series started with this type of pacing and this type of stories, I probably wouldn't have followed up with it.
Hmm.
But I'll tell you this, they do end with Dinobots.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I love those
Uh,
toys, dude. I think those are one of the most coolest Transformer toys.
so that's what I was trying to like I was wondering like are they gonna show it's gonna be Earth, but what Earth? What time frame are they gonna land on? And the and I'll tell you right now that the series ends with the ship or their ship crashing on Earth, and you see this Velociraptor kind of like looking over a cliff, going like, "What the hell is that?" kind of thing, like oh, this like weird action, and then they zoom in on the eye, and it kind of flickers like to a digital look, and then goes back to a Velociraptor eye. I
That's
was like,
pretty cool.
"Oh, the Dinobots!"
All right, so since we're on streaming, you have HBO Max still, right?
Yes.
They recently started porting a lot of Cinemax shows and stuff onto the platform. So I don't know if you watched it yet, but I highly recommend you to watch Warrior. It's the Bruce Lee show that I was talking to you about.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, season one and season two. Season two that just finished airing is
Mhm.
now on there too, so you can watch both. Okay.
Yeah, they started porting over uh some the DC Universe shows
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
the remaining DC Universe shows.
Mhm.
So now whoops, probably had the wrong password. Uh so yeah, so I'm starting to see more of what's it called? Teen Titans things, whatever. So I'm like, holy crap, I'm like so many shows I need to watch. Batman Beyond is now on it.
Mhm.
The original Batman series is now on it. So I'm like, holy crap, DC is expanding on here. Uh, so definitely a lot more stuff on HBO Max that I need to dive into, and they
Mhm.
just keep adding and adding to it.
Yeah, I think they're making it a very appealing platform for people to sign up for because there's so many things on there. We'll talk about it in the movie section here. You know what?
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into the movie section.
All right, all right. On first headline here in the news: Deadpool 3. Kevin Feige confirms Deadpool will be joining the MCU, and yes, it will still be rated R.
For violence? There's violence in the movie?
For radness.
Oh, okay.
R for radness.
That's kind of cool.
Uh, yeah, and that's one of the concerns with what the Disney Fox acquisition was that what about these properties? Deadpool is rated R, and it's made success being rated R. Are they going to Disney it up and bring it down to even a PG-13? But no, they're going to keep it R, and it's going to be somehow puzzled into the crazy MCU that we know right now.
That's crazy. I'm pretty
I
sure it's going to be connected because of Doctor Strange.
That's what I'm trying to think of. What and Doctor Strange has to be playing such a pivotal role in how like the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, Deadpool is going to be brought into this universe. I mean, we're assuming he's going to be playing a role into how Daredevil is going to get pulled into the MCU.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm trying to think of which interaction I would want to see with Deadpool. Being the wall breaker, being how annoying, how in your face Deadpool is.
I just want to
I'm
see Spider-Man and Deadpool together. That's fun. I want to see.
That's what the memes have been saying, and even Ryan Reynolds uh tweeted that when the announcement came out, he tweeted saying, "Full disclosure, I showed Disney Spider-Man 1 and 2, and I told him it was Deadpool, and I told him it was Deadpool 1 and 2. So
That's funny.
I mean, I don't know if it's a coincidence or if Ryan's hinting that there might be a Spider-Man connection. Which the history of Deadpool and Spider-Man is that they did confuse each other for a lot. Get confused a lot for each other. There you go. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna fit it in, but I'm excited and happy they're gonna try to keep it the way it is. All right. Next up here, The Woman in the Window. This is a movie based on the novel by the same name, starring Amy Adams.
Mm-hmm.
This movie has been delayed twice already. So it was originally supposed to come out at the end of 2019. Then it got pushed to, I believe, spring of 2020. And then COVID happened and they delayed it again.
Mm-hmm.
But now Netflix has announced that it will be premiering only on Netflix summer of 2021.
Wow. Well, at least it has a final date for the movie to come out.
Yeah, this one has I don't know if you know the story behind this, but it's kind of oh, what's that one movie? Oh crap, where like the neighbor sees the neighbor, like a guy sees the neighbor getting like killed or whatever, and then
Secret Window or Disturbia.
Disturbia. There you go. It's kind of like a Disturbia feel to it, but it's more of a mind f.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
But yeah, so my Martha read the novel and she loved it. She loved she binged that book so quickly, so she's been excited to see this movie.
Yeah, I love the book, so I'm kind of excited to see. I mean, the trailer looks really good.
Also, Amy Adams put on a few pounds to fit the role better.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted to have more of a homely look to it because the character
Or non-celebrity look.
There you go, a normal look.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the people that haven't read the book, the woman has oh my god, what's the name of it? She's agoraphobic. So I mean, she's scared of open spaces or the outdoors because of a trauma in her past. So Amy Adams really wanted to fit the characters. Like, what was somebody that has not been outside, that has had a lot of mental trauma? How would this person look? And she kind of tried to fit that look, and I think she nailed it. It's props to her for that commitment to the role.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Anton. Some more geeky news here. Keaton Batman. So Michael Keaton will be returning as Batman, and it's a bit confusing the way it was explained, but the short version is he will be the DCEU Batman going forward. You're drawing a blank there.
Okay,
let me.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So the way the showrunner, or not the showrunner, but the DCEU, I'll say manager, overlord, explained it was that there will be two. I mean, that there will be two versions of Batman. And now I'm blanking out. Why am I blanking on names nowadays? The vampire boy. What's his name?
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, Robert Pattinson will be Earth 2 Batman, and Keaton will be Earth 1 Batman, taking over Ben Affleck in like the next movie. Like there's gonna be some sort of transition where Ben Affleck steps out and Keaton steps in, and it's gonna be, I think, introduced in the Flash movie coming out in 2022.
Yeah, and Flash is the only movie that's gonna be able to kind of do that Doctor Strange thing.
Doctor Strange thing. I almost said Doctor Who. Yeah, Doctor Strange thing with the whole Flashpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is also great news because this kind of opens the door to what everybody was thinking when Keaton was talking to DC about a Batman Beyond movie.
That's what I want. That's what I'm waiting for.
Yes. So I'm hoping that, the Flash movie introduces Keaton somewhere in the future. Maybe the Flash, steps in and says, "Oh no, Michael, you've aged." And then they kind of introduce the idea of a Batman Beyond.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm kind of excited to see that. But
I know. Now I'm excited for a Flash movie. This is where I'm like, all right, now kind of like the Leonardo DiCaprio meme. All right, now you piqued my interest.
All
All
right.
right, that's on. So I was gonna go through the list of 2021 movies, but I think we're running a bit long here, so we will just shelve it. Maybe I'll just put a post up or something.
Yeah, we're a
Yeah,
little early.
we are, and that was my other concern too. Was some of these are still pending. I think the number one here is SpongeBob in February,
Yeah.
which I think February is still too early for COVID stuff. I'm thinking maybe late April, for sure. June will be more likely when theaters start to reopen in a in a large way.
AMC stocks are at $2 right now. So
I know this is
it's crazy.
the first time the AMC stocks have been below to where I bought them,
Mhm.
and I'm like, oh my god, like all right, whatever. Anyways, I'm just holding on now. I
Mhm.
should have sold in November and then rebought now, but whatever.
Mhm.
All right. So let's go on to the next here. Wonder Woman 1984. So this was released on Christmas Day on HBO Max, as we previously talked about, and also in theaters at the same time. And it's only going to be available on HBO Max for the first 30 days. So it should be coming out. It should be leaving HBO Max on January 24th,
Mhm.
23rd, 24th, around there.
Yeah.
So this is the second Wonder Woman movie following up to the original. Takes place, as the name suggests, 1984. Diana has more established herself in the modern world. She's a museum curator. Surprise, surprise, she does artifacts. All right, Ethan. You said you watched it. What were your thoughts on Wonder Woman 1984?
Okay. So I thought that, I mean, watching it at home feels so weird because it's a
Mm-hmm.
AAA title movie, and watching it at home and having that feeling where you're like, oh wow, this movie's special, because it is. It's a good action
This
hero movie. This is something that
this
you
was
see
supposed to
on
be
the
a
big
summer
screen.
blockbuster. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
this is something that you got to see on the big screen. Yeah.
Also, I will add, props to HBO Max. They actually introduced higher video and audio quality just for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Previously to this, people were hesitant about the release on HBO Max because it didn't offer Dolby support. They didn't offer high definition support on the
Mm-hmm.
platform. And then they said, by the way, if your TV has it, we'll support it.
Yeah, that Dolby Atmos sound at home is pretty intense if you have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, um, yeah, this is a movie that needs to be seen on the big screen. At home, it doesn't feel the same. So, other than that, did I like the movie? It's all right.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it, but it's not like wow, like really good. I like the first one a lot better than this one. Um,
Uh, I'll say I feel the movie. I don't know if it ever changed direction to what it wanted to be, but it felt like it changed direction.
mhm,
Like the very beginning, it feels like okay, it's a bit cheesy, but I'm getting like a Superman vibe, like the old Superman movies, kind of like that kind of nostalgia feel to it. I'm like, all right, maybe they want to do this, which I'm like, all right, I'm on board for. And then it shifts,
mhm.
and then every now and then it touches back to that. I'm like, choose what you want to be. Do you want to be, do you want to be an homage to the old Superman movies, or do you want to be your own thing?
Yeah. So some of the cool details I did like about this movie is, yeah, we do notice that over time she does travel to she does travel through different museums to work at because
Mm-hmm.
working at one for so long would blow your cover of why you don't
Yeah,
age that well.
that
Um,
aging.
and yeah, it's kind of cool to see a little bit of details for like the big fans that are really into Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the invisible jet thing was kind of cool. Spoiler alert
Uh,
for whoever.
uh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because I wasn't expecting it, and I was kind of hoping it wasn't gonna happen. And then it happened. That's kind
Hmm.
of like, hmm. Like I know that was fan service, but
Hmm.
Because okay, it's one thing that the jet was invisible, but all of a sudden it can fly through explosions without
Mm-hmm.
concern. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, wait, it's invisible, not invincible.
Yeah. And it's funny. There was a scene where she had that Superman flying moment. She's falling
Was
backwards,
she?
but her hair is falling this way.
Oh, it's falling backwards still.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that, but one thing I did know that did distract me was it seemed like she couldn't decide on a pose. Like she went from like the two hands forward to both hands back to
She's
one
like,
hand.
this doesn't feel right. Okay, we'll try
Yeah,
this. And then,
knee
okay.
bent. And I'm like, okay, I get it. You want to see what feels right, but at the same time too, I'm like, that's a bit distracting. and and this is not just a criticism on her, but I feel that showing people flying in movies has never looked natural.
Mm-mm.
I can't think of a movie where I'm like, okay, they're legit flying. No, like they always, you can just imagine them how they're positioned on a green screen. I'm like, okay, they're on cables, or okay, they're on like what you call it, a horse, or I don't know what they call it, but kind of like a mount of some sort, and they're just laying on their belly on the mount.
Mm-hmm. See, I think Superman looks right when he flies, and the only reason
But
why is because he has a cape.
he has a cape, so it
Mm-hmm.
kind of hides his body. But also, some of the time, they're just showing him from like the chest forward.
Mm-hmm. That's
So
true.
you really don't get to look at his full body. I think if you saw his full body, it's kind of look awkward or something like that. And I
It's
don't
gonna
know,
look like he's
it,
just floating.
which I'm fine with. Show
Mm-hmm.
them floating. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's no propulsion, or
Mm-hmm.
like none that we know of. So yeah, fine. Show them floating. Um, so Pedro Pascal's character. What were your thoughts on him?
I thought he was really good as a actor. There are moments where I'm like, wow, he's really he's really trying to sell this character, and he does. I mean, he does. But like, it's such a really weird character.
So I liked Pedro's portrayal of the character and his acting. It was like a bit eccentric, a bit the old school swindler kind of thing, like the uh, the 80s where financial crimes were rampant, and that's where we got a lot of our Ponzi scheme laws and stuff like that, or financial investment laws from. Uh, but I felt writing wise, the character felt incomplete.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
There was a transition that I feel we never got, and all of a sudden he cared. And I'm like, no, you've had that. There was never a moment where you really cared or something. Like, and all of a sudden at the end he cares.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
little weak there
yeah, like
in the
that
writing
there's
part.
yeah, it's almost like they were like, okay, we want this character, we want this character. Well, we need to complete an arc.
Mm-hmm.
What's his growth here? Because Diana's not going to kill him. So what's his arc?
Yeah, and another thing is that there's a little bit of I was watching a video and it pointed out a lot of kind of like black holes where it doesn't make any sense. There's just so many of them. Um, I think Cheetah, for example, played by
Oh, Kristen Wiig.
Kristen Wiig. Her character doesn't get okay. We're talking about spoilers now, right?
Yeah, that's fine. I think
Yeah.
the
So
movie's on HBO Max. Come on, watch it.
So, I mean, her character at the end doesn't have the power anymore. So, do they arrest her or what? I mean,
Well, same thing with Pedro Pascal's character.
yeah,
Like he did all these shitty things, and then he's going to his son saying, "It's okay. I'm sorry. I'm not the best dad. I'm not the greatest person, but I'm gonna be here for you." And people are like, "Nah, dude, you got like crimes you committed. You,
yeah.
you got time to fill, man. Like going away."
hmm
uh, no, and also I love Kristen Wiig as a character though. Like again, great acting. The writing itself was just kind of weird.
hmm
Uh, speaking of underused things, the armor that was toted back and forth on the promotions for this movie was used for probably 3 minutes of screen time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a device for a nice little fan service at the end of the credits or mid-credit scene.
Mm-hmm. So it's interesting because I think in Justice League movie, I think Diana was still looking for what's her name?
Justice League movie.
Yeah, in Justice League, she's still working at the museums because she's still looking for that person. The old Wonder Woman, Diana, no, Linda Carter.
Yeah. No, oh my God, Alistair was it starts with an A. I mean, I'll find it right now.
Astoria.
Astoria. There you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's still looking for Astoria. So I think, what they're trying to do is they're trying to lead into Wonder Woman 3, where she finds Astoria.
That's going to be the big climax there.
Mm-hmm.
Astoria. Yeah, which I even without the mid-credit scene, I was kind of wondering, like, okay, so who was that person or what? Again, the explanation for the armor I felt was like half-assed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, cool, there's this great. All the Amazonians gave up their armor to make this badass armor, and then this Amazonian ended up sacrificing herself. But you mean to tell me the Greeks kept the armor complete? Like they killed her, but they never damaged the armor, and then somehow they recovered the armor.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Chris Pine's character, which on the surface funny. If you look too much into the story, it's kind of jacked up. He pretty much took over a guy's life for a couple of weeks and probably screwed up his life a little bit because he wasn't really going to work. He was probably spending money. And who knows? Maybe the guy had a girlfriend.
Yeah. Yeah. So did you overall, did you like the movie?
I liked it. I think I would have hated it if I went to the theater to watch it. I think that's one thing. As mediocre scores it has right now overall on like Rotten Tomatoes, whatever, I think it would have been worse if it was in theaters.
I felt like this movie was a little bit better than Mulan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Okay. And I will again. The bits and pieces of this movie are good. Together, they do not blend well.
Mm-hmm.
The symbology of Wonder Woman and Barbara, who's Kristen Wiig's character, both sacrificing something for a different reason. So Diana sacrificed who she was for a man. Yay, feminism.
Mm-hmm.
Kristen Wiig's character Barbara sacrificed herself for what society values.
Mm-hmm.
Which again, kind of thing, what's going on right now with the images that we see on social media or on magazines about women measuring themselves up to unrealistic ideals and kind of not being themselves to fulfill the ideals of society. I'm like, okay, I get it, but poorly delivered. And again, this comes with grain of salt because it's two guys talking about women problems. But I do want to note though, I want to know if and I probably should have watched the rest of the credits to confirm if Members Only was a heavy sponsor for this movie, because Chris Pine was rocking that Members Only jacket for half the movie.
Hey,
had seen
Members Only jacket in that time period was a really big thing.
It was. No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that made me suspicious was all the time he was wearing it, the explosions, the fights, the superhuman strength. That jacket was always spotless. Much like when you see a car, say in the Transporter or Fast and Furious something, where they're doing these crazy things, smashing through gates, and that front of the car is still spotless and clean. Man, you can see the badge.
Yep. All right, so I think I should save my Tenet review and wait until you watch it. So I'm gonna give you homework this from now to the next episode.
So remind me, what service is Tenet on? I know it was taken off theaters.
Tenet is not on any service. You have to rent it. So
yeah, but what? So anywhere that you can rent videos.
You can do it on iTunes. You can do it on Amazon. Anywhere.
Okay. Okay. Cool. I wasn't sure if it was exclusive to one platform or not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. I'll watch it. I know that was like my 2020 movie, and I tried to show my brother that one. What? 5-minute segment or 8-minute segment that they showed before a movie. What movie it was, or like they give you no explanation about what's going on, and people are just confused.
Yeah.
What movie was it? I know it was like it was a
1917.
No, it was a different one because I didn't watch that movie, and I saw this. But it was like December of 2019 that
Mission Impossible.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was, but yeah. So I was hoping to show my brother because that was just like such a good tease, and it was just probably the intro of the movie, and it's available nowhere. Like YouTube took it off, the WB has it nowhere. It's just the trailers, and that's it. I'm like, God damn you! You could have released that 8 minutes like months later, and it would have been fine.
Mm-hmm. Anyways. Yep, that's the very beginning of the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Actually, before we start wrapping up, what was the rating? What rating do you give Wonder Woman 1984?
I give it a 3.9 out of 5.
3.5. C minus.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, Anton. So if people want to give us an A+, how can I do that?
You can do that by going to our website at www.the2oc.com and maybe buy some stickers, t-shirts. And I think I talked about last week's or previous episode that we're going to have something new soon. We're going to have something new soon. So keep holding on.
Sweet. Yeah. All right. You can follow us on social media at the 2OC on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Hopefully we're not blocked. And you can also send us an email to mail@the2oc.com. Let us know your thoughts on Wonder Woman, how we shouldn't be talking about feminism when we're two guys. I don't know. Let us know your thoughts.
Yeah,
and
no
also
bias.
Give us a 5 stars on Apple Podcast. It helps us find new listeners through algorithms, magical technology.
Mm-hmm. So if there was something that mentioned on our show or our show notes, maybe Instagram or something, gives us a little kickback when any of the links gives you like a little purchase or something on Amazon. So it gives us a little kickback, so that's a good thing. Today's podcast is also brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/the2oc. There are over 180,000 titles to choose from, and you can use it on your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. I don't know how that works, but I guess it works somehow. Books to recommend this week. You got anything, Alan? I think we do. We got this one right here, which is Star Wars The High Republic, Light of the Jedi, which is one of the first ones in the series. I did a little sneak peek of what they're trying to unfold. I think this is going to be like a span of a yearly thing where there's a book every single year. So it's kind of cool to have something like that, because usually when they do have it, it's more of like a spread out or focusing on a specific character. This one is like a full-on like saga, basically a continuous saga. So it's kind of cool to see that. All right.
Yeah, it's a side note. I'm glad you picked the one you did to send me because I saw the covers for the other books, and they had more of a kid's book art to it,
Oh
and
yeah,
I thought that was a shame.
yeah.
That was a shame
So
because this one feels like a very, beautiful cover for this one.
so the interesting thing is, there's a lot of stories that they want to tell,
Mm-hmm.
and they did. I mean, they're all connected in a way, but you don't have to read all of them because a lot of them are very minor.
Mm-hmm.
Minor. Uh, children's book. You'll probably finish the book in like 10 pages or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a Star Wars nerd or geek, maybe like us, you can just go to like Target or something and just flip through and read it real quick. But it's kind of cool because I think some of the characters are referenced in some of the books and stuff too. So we're going to see a lot more of that stuff in the future. So I think there will be 3 books in the series for this novel.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just one of the first ones. I think there's another
Okay.
one coming out next month, and that one is a young adult book. So, uh, kind of a lighter read than this one. So,
Okay.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can't wait to crack it open. I'm trying to speed through the Witcher, and then
Yeah.
I'll,
If you
yeah,
want
we'll.
if you want more information about what they're doing with this series, you can go
Mm-hmm.
to the Star Wars channel on YouTube, and they can tell you.
Mm-hmm.
I think they did a launch event where they had all of the writers from all of the books to talk
Mm-hmm.
about what how they got into the process of writing it. They basically
Mm-hmm.
went into the room with the Star Wars creatives,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of like them pitching a movie, but instead of movies, they're pitching books and characters. They had to come up with their own characters and their own stories on this time
Mm-hmm.
period. And they had to reference it with some of the Star Wars creatives. I think Pablo Hidalgo was there. Leland, the guy who's in charge of all the artwork.
Well, because they want to have a really tight hold on
Mm-hmm.
the Star Wars universe and
Mm-hmm.
what's included and how things lay out there.
Yeah.
Which is one reason why they made the old novels not canon,
Mm-hmm.
and then little by little they kind of revised and picked what they wanted.
Yeah. So just go check it out. It's a lot of information that you can find out about this series. So highly recommend it.
Cool. All right, Anton. All right, so that's it, right? We're set.
Mm-hmm. We're set.
All right. For the 2OC, I'm Mount Flores.
I'm Anton Dong. See ya.
2021. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.